Just into us this afternoon, former President Trump has filed a lawsuit today against his 2016 opponent, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the DNC, other high-level Democrats, too, for $24 million. The allegation, he says, that they tried to rig the 2016 election by trying to connect the former president to Russia, with the suit claiming the scheme was so outrageous that, quote, the events of Watergate pale in comparison.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Trump literally has won something only one time in his entire miserable existence. And when you're a clinical narcissist and a perpetual loser on top of it all, you're in a real emotional conundrum because you've got to latch on to some concept that paints you a hero within the confines of your own delusional mind.
So it's basically any grievance that Donald Trump ever had against his opponents all packaged up as a lawsuit. What it says is they all there was a coordinated effort to destroy Mr. Trump's political career and impede his ability to effectively govern as president of the United States.
And so, like his every day since the 2016 election, Trump is going after Hillary Clinton yet again, folks, yet again. He's suing Clinton over the very same 2016 election. It's like a patient committed to a psych ward who keeps reliving the same event over and over again. A permanent mental block that can never be overcome. Hell, his 2020 campaign was mostly about Hillary Clinton still. I'm sure this campaign staffers had a hell of a time holding this drooling orange imbecile's hand, but within 5 minutes of being alone on stage, the scripts were all but forgotten, so Trump would deviate to his one and only fallback tangent, yet again, go after Hillary.
And I suppose there's two ways of looking at it. On the one hand, it's an attempt to turn what happens in a political campaign into a lawsuit. On the other hand, it does say that some of the things that were done that were illegal, he says, such as wiretapping a page during the campaign, which now it's universally determined to have been based on some false and misleading allegations that were made by the FBI. It's Donald Trump says that his communications in Trump Tower were illegally intercepted. So there are some specific allegations here that form the backbone of this civil lawsuit.
Can you at all, Pete, and if this is not within your purview, I know you'll tell me, handicap its chances moving forward?
Well, I think it's a stretch, but you never know. It's filed in Florida. That's the first step. We'll see what happens.
And while this mental fixation is a weird and disturbing thing to watch, and yes, that can be said for Donald Trump holistically as well, this business of living in court is Trump's long-held M.O. His entire life's work is play the legal system. Sadly, it can be a con man's haven. He plays the long game of delay, appeal, and countersuit to keep his litany of white-collar crimes at a distance. This leech has been living under a mountain of debt that well exceeds the sum of his assets. How's that Trump Tower in Moscow, by the way? And yet Trump does the one thing he's actually good at. He plays dumb and continues living off of other people's money. Because there's always a sucker. All business can be reduced to supply and demand. A con artist has a never-ending supply of BS, and this world has a seemingly ample supply of gullible suckers whose demand exceeds their own sight. They want Mexicans out of their country. By the way, have they ran that by the Native Americans to get their thought on that jewel of a statement? And they want Trump because Mexico is going to pay for a wall to keep those rapists and murderers out of here. Well, guess what, morons? A wall is a ridiculous waste of money that's absolutely going to do nothing. Trump shut down the entire government in demanding that we all pay for this insult to intelligence because the people of Mexico had brains enough to see through this sophomoric scam. And yet, every one of you saps are hanging Trump 2024 posters up on your bedroom walls to this very day. So as long as the MAGA cult is turning out blind morons, Trump is in business. And he's exploiting that cash cow in a blitzkrieg of the justice system to tie up the court in enough baseless and useless suits, countersuits, and appeals to try to evade impeding hammer coming down on him. Because like a scorpion that's been uncovered from a rock, he's frantically scrambling around to find his hiding place he had for the last 4 years. So rah, 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 MAGA candidates, keep Trump's fat orange carcass out of prison, pack the state legislatures, overrule the electoral system, conjure up some hollow campaign slogans. You see, people, fascism is the ultimate refuge for a con man, and for Trump, the only refuge. He's a desperate, cornered animal. The only thing he has to bank on is having his one saving grace, and that's stupid people, and that's his bread and butter. It doesn't get much stupider than to support somebody whose career of abusing the legal system, and it doesn't get any stupider than to vote for somebody who wants to take your democracy away. It's easy to see a con man having his way with the people that are dumb. And sadly, there's a bunch of them. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.